Today I'm going to be reviewing the cheapest studio monitor headphone available on Amazon. And this is something I didn't plan on making a video about, but after thinking about it, I figured there might be some people in the same position, and this might help them decide if this cheap pair of studio monitor headphones might work for them. And just to quickly go over the specifications on the headphones, they're a pretty basic headphone with a 40mm driver, a 32 ohm impedance, a sensitivity from 98 to 3 decibels, and a frequency response of 15 Hz to 22 kHz. They handle a maximum power of 400 milliwatts. They have a 2.5 meter cable, and they have a 3.5mm plug, which then adapts to a 6.3mm plug or 1/4 inch plug. First, I might talk about the reason I bought these, because you might find yourself in the same situation. And I'll also talk about a handful of situations where I could imagine you might be using them. Not even as I originally intended, but I've had a few things come up where I think they're going to be perfect for that, and I'm going to hang on to them and continue to use them. Now, the reason I bought these headphones is my old monitoring headphones broke. I was in the market for some new headphones, but I was really at pains to decide between a few different brands and a few different models. And while I was doing the research to make a decision, I still needed a pair of headphones to use as studio monitors for my editing and my daily work. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just buy the cheapest pair of studio monitor headphones on Amazon and just see if those will get me by. And the truth is they have. But after owning them, I thought of a handful of other situations where I might use them. Like if you've got a band, if you've got a number of people involved, if you've got sort of 5 people that are all of a sudden coming in the studio and you don't want to spend $100 or $200 each on headphones, or if you're in a situation where you have to loan some headphones out for somebody to monitor some audio or monitor a feed, and you know maybe they're not going to take care of them or you don't want to worry about them. I personally have a situation where I have a daughter who's just started doing some voice recording and voice training, and I was going to set up a little recording studio for her, but I don't want to give her a $100 or $200 pair of headphones and to give her a $15 or $16 pair of headphones depending on what sales they're having on these things at the time. I'd be totally fine if she accidentally stepped on them and broke them. I'd feel much better than if she broke my professional monitoring headphones. So even though they are only a cheap pair of monitoring headphones, they work all right, and I can see a number of situations where there would be benefit to having them around. And upon receiving the headphones and taking them out of the box, the first thing I noticed was the build quality. They're an all-plastic headphone. They are fairly basic. They feel like something you might get if you got some sort of audio guide and were walking through a museum or art gallery or something like that. They do feel like a semi-disposable headphone. But having said that, they are lightweight. They actually feel somewhat robust. There's not a whole lot of moving parts, so they do feel like they would handle a little bit of abuse, and I wouldn't be surprised if these headphones in some fashion are distributed on a mass basis somewhere for a sort of audio library, audio tour, or something to that effect. They seem like something you might get to use at the library on audiobooks. So although they are basic and plastic and they don't feel premium by any means, they do feel reasonably robust and they don't feel like they would break very easily. Now, as far as comfort goes, because they're lightweight, they do sit on your head quite nicely and you don't feel much weight at all. I mean, as far as most headphones that would be used for studio monitoring, there wouldn't be many that are lighter than this. They are on-ear, not over-ear headphones, and the ear pads are quite firm, but they feel like they're a reasonable quality, but they are firmer than I would like. The clamp pressure is more than I would generally prefer, but that does create a good seal and does give you some pretty good sound isolation and does probably maximize the sound that these headphones produce. And coming to sound quality, how can I put this? They're not $500 studio headphones. They're not $200 studio headphones. They're not $100 studio headphones. They are $16 studio headphones, and do they sound better than $16 studio headphones? I think so. When I compared them to my earbuds and my normal consumer grade, my Apple EarPods, the stuff that I just use for listening to music and when I'm traveling around, but I'm not monitoring audio, I'm not editing video, I found that these gave a more accurate representation of music and voice. I found it did give a better separation in the frequencies. And I did find that they are usable for monitoring and editing audio. Now, would I go switching from my $200 set of professional headphones to these? No, of course not. But in a pinch, they work, and they were better than what I had lying around. So they advertise them as studio headphones, which we expect to be somewhat flat in their sound signature. And although I do find them a tiny bit boomy, I think they're better than normal music listening headphones. They really are like an entry-level, super cheap studio monitoring headphone. But after having these for a little while and assessing the comfort, I did notice on Amazon for only a little bit more, they have 2 more models up from this. So there are 2 extra models that may even use the same drivers. There's a model above this that is a full over-ear. It looks much more comfortable. I think it's only $5 or $10 more. I'll put the link in the description below. And I suspect it uses the same driver. So that actually might be better for most people if you're going to be using it for an extended period of time and not just listening for a few minutes. And then they have a next model above that, which actually has a 45mm driver, a next size up driver. And that one is a little bit more yet. So I think anything in this range probably could be used for studio monitoring. And it's sort of at a price point where it's almost a throwaway amount of money. So if you were taking these on the road or throwing in a bag or editing on a train or editing in an airport or giving them to a kid, you probably wouldn't worry too much if they got destroyed. And I would certainly use these and lend these to people that I wouldn't allow to use my $200 or $300 headphones. That was just my quick review of the cheapest studio monitoring headphones that you can buy on Amazon. I'll put the links in the description below. Hopefully this will help some of you. If you got any questions about the headphones, just leave them below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.